The DooDoo Crew. Part 10. DooDoo Man's Final Sacrifice. Chapter 1. Peace at last? After escaping the collapsing anti-stink planet, the DooDoo Crew returned to Earth. For months, the world experienced nothing but laughter, stink, and joy. It seemed as though the anti-stink threat had been vanquished for good. But in the quiet moments, DooDoo Man felt unease. It's too peaceful, he muttered to himself. They're never truly gone. Chapter 2. A mysterious disruption. One evening, the skies darkened unnaturally, and a portal opened above the village. From it emerged shadowy figures resembling the DooDoo Crew, but twisted and corrupted. Lucy pointed. They look just like us. They're not, DooDoo Man said grimly. They're us, but from another dimension. Chapter 3. The alternate crew revealed. The alternate versions stepped forward. They introduced themselves as the Anti-Crew, the last remnants of the anti-stink army. Each was a dark, sterile parody of the real crew, exuding an aura of lifelessness and order. Chapter 4. A warning from the Anti-Crew. The Anti-Crew's leader, Mirror DooDoo, spoke in a cold, monotone voice. We are the last guardians of purity and silence. If you defeat us, stink and chaos will dominate forever. Are you willing to pay that price? Chapter 5. The first clash. The two teams faced off in an epic battle. The Anti-Crew mirrored the DooDoo Crew's tactics, matching them stink for stink and prank for prank. The real crew struggled to find an edge. Chapter 6. A growing threat. During the battle, Mirror Lucy unleashed a device that began neutralizing the village's stink. They're trying to erase our legacy, the Stink Snatcher shouted. Chapter 7. Rallying together. The DooDoo Crew regrouped, using teamwork to temporarily disable the Anti-Crew's devices. We can't let them win, DooDoo Man said. If they destroy our stink, they destroy what makes us human. Chapter 8. A shadowed past. The Anti-Crew revealed their origins. In their dimension, stink had been wiped out long ago, leaving their world in sterile despair. We are what happens when chaos dies, Mirror Mrs. Crumplebottom said. Chapter 9. The fight for the portal. The crew realized the portal above the village was the source of the Anti-Crew's power. If they could close it, they might end the threat. Chapter 10. A flawed plan. As the crew worked to disrupt the portal, the Anti-Crew countered with devastating precision. They're too much like us, Glimmer said. They know what we'll do before we do it. Chapter 11. A costly mistake. In a moment of desperation, the Stink Snatcher threw a stink bomb at Mirror Glimmer, only to have it reflected back, injuring Lucy. Chapter 12. A new strategy. DooDoo Man devised a risky plan, to split up and attack the Anti-Crew from multiple angles. They may know how we fight together, but they can't predict what we'll do apart. Chapter 13. A personal battle. Each member of the crew faced their counterpart. Lucy squared off against Mirror Lucy, both using ingenious gadgets. You're smart, Lucy said, but you've forgotten how to laugh. Chapter 14. The Stink Snatcher's redemption. The Stink Snatcher overcame his fear of failure, outwitting Mirror Snatcher with a surprise stink mine. Never underestimate creativity, he said. Chapter 15. Mrs. Crumplebottom's legacy. Mrs. Crumplebottom defeated her counterpart by setting a trap using old-fashioned pranks. Sometimes the classics are the best, she said with a grin. Chapter 16. Glimmer's light. Glimmer used their light-based illusions to confuse and disorient Mirror Glimmer, finally gaining the upper hand. Chapter 17. DooDoo Man vs. Mirror DooDoo. DooDoo Man faced off against his doppelganger in a battle of wits and stink. You'll never understand, he said. Stink isn't just chaos, it's connection. Chapter 18. The Portal's Secrets. The crew discovered that the portal was linked to the Anti-Stink realm, the home of the Anti-Stink gods. Destroying it would sever the Anti-Crew's connection to their power. Chapter 19. The Anti-Stink gods return. As the portal weakened, the Anti-Stink gods emerged, furious and vowing revenge. You thought you could destroy us, they thundered. Now we will take you all. Chapter 20. A desperate stand. The crew fought valiantly, but the combined might of the Anti-Stink gods and the Anti-Crew was overwhelming. We're out of time, DooDoo Man said. There's only one way to end this. Chapter 21. The ultimate sacrifice. DooDoo Man realized that closing the portal required someone to enter it and destroy it from within. It has to be me, he said. No, Lucy cried. There has to be another way. There isn't, DooDoo Man replied. This is the only way to protect the stink and laughter we've built. Chapter 22. A heartbreaking farewell. The crew pleaded with him not to go, but DooDoo Man smiled. This isn't goodbye. As long as there's laughter, I'll be there. Chapter 23. Into the portal. DooDoo Man stepped into the portal, clutching the chaos flare. The anti-stink gods roared in defiance as the portal began to collapse. Chapter 24. Eternal Hell. Inside the anti-stink realm, the gods trapped DooDoo Man in an endless void of silence and sterility. They tortured him with their power, ensuring he could never escape. Chapter 25. The portal collapses. As the portal imploded, the anti-stink gods and the anti-crew were destroyed. The DooDoo crew escaped, but their leader was gone. Chapter 26:30. Mourning a hero. The crew returned to Earth, devastated by their loss. They retired, each finding ways to honor DooDoo Man's legacy. Chapter 31. A New Hope. Years later, DooDoo Man's son, Pip Poots, stepped forward. My father gave everything for stink and laughter. Now it's my turn. Chapter 32. Pip's Rise. Pip rebuilt the crew and continued his father's mission, ensuring the world remained a place of joy and chaos. The DooDoo Man's sacrifice was never forgotten, and his spirit lived on in every laugh and every prank. The end.